Well, welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Dr. John McClain, and this is number 17 on short answers to tough questions. And in this one, I want to look at the question of why God do you cause, and he does cause, and or allow so much suffering that leads to death. Now, let us remember that death was brought into the world not by Eve, but by Adam. Timothy tells us, Paul tells us through Timothy, that Eve was deceived and Adam fell willingly, culpably. And of course, then Adam blames God and blames the woman. And you might want to look at the posts that I have on my website on why men and women butt heads all the time, and the struggle, the diametrically opposed wills of men and women. But before that, God, why did you cause or allow so much suffering that leads to death? Ecclesiastes 7:1-4 says this: a good name is better than a good ointment, and the day of one's death is better than the day of one's birth. It is better to go to the house of mourning, in other words, to a funeral service, than to go to the house of feasting, a party. Because the house of mourning, death, is the end of every man or person. And the living, as they are in the house of mourning, have the opportunity to take that reality to their heart or their mind. Sorrow is better than laughter, for when a face is sad, a heart may be happy. The mind of the wise is in the house of mourning, while the mind of fools is in the house of pleasure. A wise person understands their days are limited. A wise person understands that God knows not just the days of life, but the threads of hair. And I'm thankful that mine would take a while to count. I'm thankful for the measure of health that I have, but I do find as I have gotten older now, well into my 70s, that heaven is a wonderful place. And it's full of wonder and grace, as the song says. And that I'm going to be thankful to be with the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit, and all of his family, my family. And that all of the devil's work and disease and discouragement and depression and disintegration will be put away, because death for the Christian is the final healer. To be absent from the body is to be present with the Lord. And without death, we would not see the eternal judgment of God against sin, against sinners, against Satan, and the putting away of all of these troubles. And I understand, as a young person, I did not have this perspective, but suffering does bring about a change of life, a purification of life, if we will embrace God. In Romans chapter 8, verses 18-23, Paul wrote, and he suffered a lot. Wouldn't have wanted to be the Apostle Paul with all the persecution. You can read about all of that in Corinthians. For I consider that the sufferings of this present time are not worthy to be compared with the glory that is to be revealed to us. For the anxious longing of the creation waits eagerly for the revealing of the sons of God. For the creation, yes, was subjected to futility. Genesis chapter 3, not willingly, but because of God who subjected it, in hope that the creation itself also will be set free from its bondage or slavery to corruption into the freedom of the glory of the children of God. There will be a new creation. There will be the dissolving of this creation and a new creation without corruption, without death, without suffering. For we know that the whole creation groans and suffers the pains of childbirth until now. And not only this, but we ourselves having the first fruits. First fruits is the very best, the best of the fruits that come to ripeness and harvest the earliest. We have the first fruits, which could be translated, which is the Spirit, or which comes from the Spirit. Even we ourselves, grown within ourselves, waiting eagerly for our adoption as the sons, the redemption of our body. And this is, I think, something that develops more and more with age. So why, God, do you cause or allow so much suffering that leads to death? Because death is the final healer, and suffering helps us to think about what is most important in life, what is timeless, what is eternal, and then to pursue those eternal things and those eternal relationships.